Alright, looks like this is live, actually. Yes, for June 16th, 2026. Once again, a Tuesday stream. I apparently streamed exactly a week ago. I actually remember because I did it during the Nintendo Direct, and I took a break during the Juggernaut Nightmare mission to watch it for like an hour or so, and then or however long it was, and yeah. So I didn't just get the great experience on that one because I had to wait a while for some of the mission to play it, for me to play it out or whatever. But I did get to play every single mission in the last stream. So if you want to see me play every single mission in the last stream or at all for a community mission series that's going on for the second week, then refer to the last stream. It's going to be another one of those, by the way, where everything for the prior event, for the most part, aside for some small things, have already been covered. So if you want, if yes, you want details on the vast majority of the event, you're going to actually want to refer to my previous stream. But I've pretty much already done what I needed to do, pretty much, for most of the stuff, though. But did I even do my usual intro already? I forget. Hey, hello. Just in case I didn't hello, it was a Sinister Campaign here with a new stream. In this stream, I'm going to be going over the event week for this week from very early Thursday, whatever as per usual, in Craft Online, the second week of this community mission series kind of thing they're doing right now, and everything. So as I was kind of suggesting earlier, it is again, yes, second week these are available. There's 6 new missions. Old School Hits is part of the whole promotion thing. I actually did do Old School Hits off stream so I can get 500k actually. I figured I might as well since I did the other 6 missions. I might do them again this week for another 500k apparently something too. But yeah, going to title of the stream though, I chose free times, money, and RP for the hidden catches. I wanted to go 4 times money RP on treasure chests, but that title was a little too long. Yeah, if I went for that title, I would have had to take out the word week from the stream format once again, like I did last week or whatever. Where it would have been like just event stream. I didn't really want to do that again, so I decided instead of putting the 4 times for the treasure chest, I put the 3 times for the catches instead, unfortunately for that reason for the title. But yeah, probably gonna get like something like 150, like 200,000 for like one like hidden catch or something like alone or something, like at most even. If that even. Could even be like half of that or something for like a 3 times, or like a little over half of that or something. If the normal amount's like something like 30k or something, that could be even like a 90k thing for 3 times in catches or something even. I wouldn't be surprised. Are the hidden catch are yes, the hidden catches the ones where you go in the water with like the Stromberg, Torador, stuff like that? I want to say yes. Or I say the Stromberg, but I think mostly the Torador being the one with the Copper Guy Steel and Sea for like the submarine kind of vehicle, and therefore actually has support for the sonar capabilities or whatever. But yeah. So that's the title. Yeah, 4 times money RP. I think I was getting like about 100k for some of the missions or something. Like maybe 80, 90ish k at most or something. So if you're on the newer platforms, which they're only on the newer platforms apparently for these 6, 7ish missions, then yeah, it can be pretty nice, not gonna lie, to play those for a second week. So I think the top part is the same as the last week's. I think these bottom two are different though, since these were definitely not going on last week. But they said in the previous week's newswire this was going on for this week anyways for these two. So I don't think there's an actual direct money opportunity for special cargo. You're just basically getting like a 5 times money weekly challenge, I believe, if you do complete the special cargo sales like requirement for the weekly challenge. Because the weekly challenges are usually 100,000, 500,000, so 5 times to that basically, which is actually pretty good. I think when they did like the 420 event, it was like 420,000. Might have been the highest money event they've ever done for a weekly challenge, actually, quite frankly. So it actually could be pretty nice. I assume I yes, assume you could be one and done with the sale if you wanted to, by the way. So yeah, if you literally wanted to, I think you could do like one cargo sales, or like a single one cargo sale, and you could literally just get the firing bonus from that, I'm guessing. If you don't want to like play much in the game for some reason this event. So that's an easy 500k right there. And then again, you can get 500k again for these missions if you're on newer platforms. They're easy $1 million basically, bonus basically. And yeah, there's a Rockstar Razor Age t-shirt, apparently if you sell the special cargo as well. I'm actually not sure if it's a new clothing item or if it's a returning one. It could be one of the many reruns they've done before for like older, like legacy-ish like clothing items available only during like one event or something on rare occasion or something for all I know. I'm not going to make a comment if it's like new or old. I don't 100% know. But I'm not going to bother with the bottom left stuff since, again, a lot of this stuff, if not like just about all of it, aside for some of the beginning stuff, I basically already like covered. And aside for like a new plus event that actually started this event as well. Which, good news, by the way, it actually ends on like a Tuesday or something, I believe, for plus, which is different. Which should mean the DLC comes out that day or like pretty much like the day after, like the Monday it ends or something, something or something. By the way, for what could quite possibly be the final DLC of the game, even if 6 is actually coming out on November 19, 2026. Last they said in the May 2026 investor call, it apparently is on track to release for that still. So, according to Strasdelnik, all that stuff that's happening apparently still. Like Take-Two CO or whatever, since their Rockstar game is under the Take-Two like umbrella or something. They've been, I believe, since at least GTA 3, possibly even before. Hence why you have some Easter eggs for that in GTA 3. I think there's like T2 or something, maybe on like the planes or something. Forget. If I remember right from the Definitive Edition, quote unquote Definitive Edition at least, but I think it was even an Easter egg in the original release, I'm pretty sure as well. And then, yeah, 2 times rewards for the return adversary mode of Overtime Rumble. You can get 2 times money in RP for Overtime Rumble. There's Overtime Rumble and Overtime Shootout. I don't actually necessarily know 100% which one people prefer over the other on average. They don't really keep all the adversary modes in the game anymore, like at all times. So it's really hard to say on that anymore nowadays. But wasn't the original one the more better received one, and then it came out with Shootout, and people didn't like that one as much. I could be wrong, but it's like a darts kind of vehicular, like darts kind of mode, which is pretty fun. Maybe also like kind of like a shuffleboarding kind of mode. It's kind of a fun adversary mode, if I remember correctly from playing it in the past. But like, you'll probably only get like a couple $100,000 for like an hour based on like amount of time it lasts, how the game plays, how it plays into amount of time, like plays out or something, amount of players, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, sorry if I'm not focusing or thinking as much on some of this stuff, but yeah, obviously, again, it's kind of like a week 2 kind of It's a 2 week kind of event in a sense, like I've kind of described already. So I don't necessarily like feel like spending too much time on stuff in the streams. I can kind of be done with it quick or something. I might as well. Actually got to cover pretty much everything that was on the newswire last week. Since I got to go over the Outlaw discount, which is for this week, for example, like last week, I got to go over the week 2 contents of the gun ban. So the only new stuff I'm going through is the stuff that literally wasn't known before, basically. Like the plus event, like I said. Like I said, for the plus monthly event. Yeah, I don't think I have anything more to say on that. Yeah, I don't think so. You know what's news section? I don't assume there's much here. I haven't been bothering with that too much lately. So, like I said, I actually played old school hits off stream. I didn't play that one on stream because it released prior during week 21 editions of the Minimus like energy livery, whatever. It was quite a few several weeks back or something. I think they released old school hits initially, so I obviously didn't play that one on stream. I kind of want to actually show the speedrun method of doing that one, by the way. Like last time, I kind of just didn't think about it or something. Or like again, I was watching like the hour long like Nintendo Direct like off stream while the stream was like running, so like I kind of blew it at time already, so I didn't really feel it fit in at that point. But I think really the speedrun for old school hits, old school hits speedrun. I think you collect the weapons and you can get killed by the guy that's next to the weapons, and you literally just spawn like where like the sniper is. You can skip the ladders and like the stealth section, I believe, before that first old school hit. That's based on the GTA 3 old school hit, by the way. Because yeah, it's the first one. It goes on game release order, I'm pretty sure on that. And so again, like I said before, you can do this for the second week, it sounds like, as well, apparently. And if you do it both weeks, it's basically a million just for that alone, not even counting the 500k you get for the special cargo fee, and even for like kind of 1.5 million within like the 2 weeks. Yeah, there it says each week. Yeah, I think that was probably, of course, all there last week. This was, I believe, literally in like mini since like old school hits came out like over a month ago at this point. Yeah, it's pretty much nothing new here. So it's now available. That's basically everything from like December 2025 that was put on there for like the last like several months even. So again, apparently there is a new GT Plus event that started in this event with the free vehicle of the month being the Ocelot Stromberg for the Sports Classics class. I believe this is a non-raceable vehicle, albeit I wasn't really going to go over performance on this vehicle anyways, because actually it's a weaponized vehicle, so I'd rather talk more about the capabilities of this one. So yeah, this one is a submarine vehicle, as can be seen in the image here, so you can actually go underwater with it, which is pretty nice. Has front-mounted machine guns on it. If I remember right, the submarine vehicle machine guns are actually pretty decent for both the Stromberg and especially the Tordor if it has a power boost on the front-mounted machine guns, even from one to the other or something. I think even the Stromberg's like machine guns are actually considered better than say like something like the Night Shark back from like 2017's gun running DLC. And I think this is like only a vehicle that came out like 6 months or so after that or so. If memory serves me correct from what I've heard on it from other people in the past. But either way, front-mounted machine guns are not explosives, so they're not going to be a big damage dealer in a sense, regardless of how powerful they are. explosives are basically the meta of GTA Online, so like doesn't really overly matter for front machine guns, I'd argue in most cases, but just in case, figured I'd mention some stuff on it. Missiles, unlike the Torador, unfortunately, this one does have a missile limit, I believe, of like 30 or so. And I'm talking about basic missiles, the ones you can use on the land, not the torpedoes so far. But yeah, actually, there is another set of missiles technically with the torpedoes, but you can only use those ones underwater. I forget if the torpedoes can actually lock on or not. I think they can. I could be wrong. But either way, it's like 50 or 60. Even if you can lock on with them, it's much more limited. even yes, if you could lock on with the torpedoes of the Stromberg, it is just a lot more like limited with like where you could even use the torpedoes in the first place. So you can't like lock on in like the heart of the city unless there's like water near the heart of the city, of course. Like I don't know, maybe there kind of is not far from like Franklin's house or something kind of. Like I guarantee there's not really like that deep of water pretty much in most places of like the center of the city. Or a lot of like the essential like combat areas of the game for like player versus player or player versus enemy that you're not gonna really get use of torpedoes much anyways. Torpedoes are more of like a fun gimmicky kind of like weapon thing that you shouldn't expect too much out of, quite frankly, I feel. But I want to say you get like 50 or 60 torpedoes if I remember right. So you do at least get an alright amount of them, at least double up for like the basic missiles if I remember right. Again, from what I've like heard otherwise from other places and stuff. And yeah, by the way, the tracking of the like basic homing missiles is, I think, subpar. Like it's not the worst tracking homing missiles. They're actually better tracking, I believe, than your most basic homing missiles is something like the Buzzer Attack Chopper. I think it's like one step above like Buzzer Attack Chopper, like homing missiles, but it's also not as accurate as say like Ruiner 2000 Deluxe, like Vigilante missiles or something, for example. So there are a couple vehicles or so, like several or something, that have like better tracking homing missiles for sure. But the tracking, again, being at least a step above like the worst tracking is at least good. Like, alright, decent enough, I would say. Also, I believe this one's a 2-door, whereas like the Torador is like a 4-door, so you get 2 less seats in this older submarine vehicle, keep in mind. The bright side with this particular submarine vehicle, by the way, is this one actually doesn't have like glass in like the back, I believe. So I think the back of it's entirely solid compared to like the Torador, where there's like a huge glass cannon or something, where there's like a lot of glass around the Torador, where it's easy to get shot through the Torador. So that's like the one thing for sure I would say the Stromberg does better, is that it at least gives you back protection, like the Torador, the one that came out like 3 years after the Stromberg for a submarine vehicle. For like a submarine car or whatever, basically. No, yeah, I believe, by the way, they made it where you can actually store this into Kasaka with the Kyber Ice DLC, but yeah. Between this and this Torador, obviously, I believe you want to store the Torador into Kasaka particularly. Would just be better, I would imagine. I would, yes, imagine. Because again, I believe, like I kind of said earlier, this one does not get the sonar capabilities that the Torador does. So Torador would be better for like the hidden catches, like the underwater, like treasure collectible things or whatever, basically. Again, I believe those are the hidden catches, which are free times for the event right now. For sure, for sure, for sure. Oh, and also this vehicle actually does have some armor, and it actually has missiles as well, which is kind of unique. But yeah, not a lot of vehicles, if like really much of any vehicle in the game, has like armor and missiles like at the same time. I think the submarine vehicles, both the Stromberg and the Tortor, are kind of unique in the fact they have missiles and they even have a little bit of like armor as well, which is nice. Which is nice. Again, not like really much of any other vehicles aside for the submarine vehicles. I think have that trait, having armor and missiles. So there is some uniqueness to be had. And I'm talking about land vehicles in particular. I'm not talking about like aircrafts in that kind of way, of course, of course, of course. Because obviously, like the Akula, like the Hunter, I think are armored, for example. So I wasn't really including ones like that in that kind of discussion. I'm talking land vehicles in particular. So yeah, the Stromberg is actually a pretty fine vehicle, albeit it's kind of outclassed entirely by the Torador. In pretty much every single way, aside for like back protection, I would say that's the only thing the Stromberg does better. Is like I said, the back protection from earlier. So literally, you just have like less glass you can get shot out of. It's probably the one better thing it does, I would say, in 2026. Unfortunately, fortunately. But I mean, hey, if you don't have a Torador, it's a pretty fun vehicle, I would say, for Gitanon. If you, for some reason, don't have the Torador. Said it's a fine vehicle for the event, or at least an alright one, like decent one enough. For sure, being weaponized. Being weaponized. Alright, I have to actually go into my inactive tabs in my Google Chrome, like the mobile app, Google Chrome, whatever at least. And yeah, I gotta get to the new plus event on there instead of being on that older one for that tab. Oh, and by the way, GTA 5, the single player is also in the plus subscription, apparently. Apparently. So yeah, say if you only got GTA Online for some reason, like the newer consoles, you can actually get on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S. And assuming they do something like that for PC enhanced as well, where they separate like the story mode and the online, like purchase wise, you should be able to then get the story mode for free if you haven't like bought the newer version of like the story mode for some reason. Albeit, from what I know, story mode didn't really get that much enhancements from 8th to 9th gen versus like the 7th to 8th gen, like nowhere close for sure. So I don't know if it's that worth it, quite frankly, but if you still like ever wanted story mode, you can just keep paying for plus, I suppose, and get it that way. But really, there hasn't been that much purpose, I would say, to get the story mode, unfortunately, since like the last generation, where they actually did some meaningful improvements compared to the 7th gen. 8th and 9th gen, they did like no improvements, content-wise at least. Content-wise at least. Like just a basic like graphical like bare minimum like expected stuff you would expect, like the frame rate, all that kind of stuff, basically. So I'm not really sure how much. So yes, I'm not really sure how worth it actually will be. Regardless, this tour mode was added to GTA Plus apparently as a game. for this game here, basically, in the R1 story tab there. But yeah, I don't really have much more comment on them adding single player to the Plus subscription. I don't really care that much. It's been super accessible already for the story mode, like even before that. I'm sure it's been on sale like hundreds of times, thousands of times or something at like different retailers and stuff throughout the years on all kinds of different platforms. So I found that edition kind of meh, personally. For a summer game, I would have rather seen like Red Dead Revolver or something added instead. Even if it's only on, say, Xbox and PlayStation, because it never got a PC release. But yeah, I think something like Red Dead Revolver would have been a lot more fitting, personally. Like something more meaningful than literally story mode of the online game. Like people are getting the Plus subscription for online. Who's going to bother again with story mode when they do nothing like extra for it or anything, or maybe the 9th gen, besides for the bare minimum frame rate, graphic stuff, and everything. I don't see much point of that addition. And kind of crazy wasn't a thing before. And apparently, yeah. I won't be able to talk about this one much when I give her in the game, as I don't have the subscription, but it's the same color, once again, like it usually is for both the body and the wheels, but it's a teal/purple flip chameleon paint, and then the teal/purple flip chameleon wheel paint. So yeah, it's the same thing for the body and the wheels of the car. I won't really get to mention this one much, I feel, either. Later, since again I don't have the subscription, but it's the Feud Anniversary Baseball shirt, apparently. Apparently, for like a clothing thing you can get. Also, there is the Independence Day jacket and pants alongside the green emissive Lady Liberty mask, apparently, for the subscription for some Independence Day themed clothing. Since again, this goes to like July 13 for 14 for something, so Independence Day fits within it too. So quite a few like clothing items that are quite possibly new. Plus does tend to have some pretty exclusive clothing items tied exclusively to like a subscription for like the month or something. Something that isn't really available for normal gameplay, unfortunately. Alright, I think there's like 4 other things, but I'll save them for later since those will be easy to go through in the game itself. But yes, literally the story mode got added to Plus. I'm not joking, it actually did just this Plus one finally. And I don't think it's limited time, I think it's permanent, obviously, in like say NBA 2K26, which I think was the last game added. Albeit that one was temporary, of course. Yeah, thankfully that one was temporary since that was like an annoying collaboration to see under for like a whole month straight. Or like even over like a month. But yeah, apologies, my body for some Korean is not really compiling the greatest, so if I've been sounding kind of weird, that's why. Or something.
The Los Santos lights are bright tonight, Daddy.
Alright, so yeah, for a login reward, apparently there's the last Los Santos soccer jersey. It looks to be entirely new. I haven't had it before, and I don't think they've released it before either. I think it's a new release for like the World Cup or something, I want to say.
I'm listening, Daddy. Leave it with me, Daddy.
Yeah, honestly, if this fuck has body for some reason, I don't actually know if she said it all 3 times or not. Usually she does. I'm one that, yeah, she did, but I could be completely wrong. No. And yeah, before I go over the usual stuff, like I usually do, pretty much at the start of the streams, it will be no different for this one, since the earlier stuff is actually what tends to be the new stuff to go over for these kind of dead weeks, basically. But yes, so for these like multi kind of weeks. For yes, these multi kind of week things they've been doing, especially lately in this latest DLC, like even these dead weeks, the earliest parts actually tend to be the stuff with newer stuff to go through. Not that. I mean, there's a way to do it there, but I have to put it on the club app, so I don't have to show PSN on the screen like the whole time or anything as I'm doing it. But yeah, the car club vehicles apparently for the month for the plus subscription, unfortunately here. I will cover them at least a little bit, despite me not really caring to cover plus stuff the most. Well, hey, at least I don't do dedicated videos on that content, so compared to somebody like Gillian Master or something, he's better than that, or I'd for sure argue, but yeah. The Oppressor Mark II apparently is in there. Pretty much the most overused vehicle in the whole entire game, despite every single like nerf and everything. It's decent enough even still to where people do actually use it like all the time still. For like your tryhards and all that kind of stuff. I am by no extent, by the way, a Mark II hater. I'm just kind of spitting out the facts and like stuff basically. Me personally, they've ruined the vehicle too much to where I practically never use it unless I'm using it as like a speedrun vehicle. pretty much use it as like a speedrun vehicle, nothing else for me at this point, with how much they nerfed it to the ground and destroyed it and destroyed it. Again, despite that, it's actually very decent still. So 100% is a very good vehicle. There's a reason it's been increased from like the initial like 2-3 million or something. I think it costed for like a long while until they finally like increased the price at some point to like $8 million bucks. I think for a non-trade price, and I think even outside like a trade price, I think that lowers it to like $6 million or something. There's a reason it costs so much. It's actually very good. They've even increased the Raiju recently, for example. So Raiju is another approximately 2 like tier, like level like vehicle where it's god tier for like so much content like in the game. Yeah, obviously you might as well get one if you can get one for some reason. But of course, it does seem, again, I did mention apparently the Plus subscription does end on like July 13th or 14th, which is like a Monday or a Tuesday or something, which is different apparently from what I've heard on videos and stuff. So that should be the release of the next and quite possibly final update for the game. Of course, given, like, assuming GTA 6 actually comes out November 19th, which is what is being said still according to Take-Two's CEO on like the earnings call and everything that was going on last month. So I'd probably hold off on buying one like this month or something unless like you have like a ton of money. Depending on like what ends up coming out for the update. Like you never know until the update comes out. So it'll be something like crazy god tier, like Def 160 Roger, like I mentioned again. That ends up coming out, for example. And then it looks like what the R88. Yeah, it looks like the R88 from what I can see here. That is an open wheel vehicle. It's one of 4 open wheel vehicles, but I'm pretty sure it's an A tier like open wheel vehicle. It's not the S tier VR8, so it's not the best of the open wheel vehicles. But again, that class only has like 4 vehicles. You can kind of use any of them if you wanted to, I would argue, since the class is like so small anyways. So it kind of depends on how big of a fan you are for open wheel vehicles. Like, if I would even recommend buying that vehicle. Again, with an update coming out, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, like, it could be alright. Since there's only 4 open wheel vehicles, like the worst tier one can reside in is A tier for the 3 that aren't like the VR8. According to roughly 152's vehicle spreadsheet, GTA Online Racing YouTuber. It's like the Hermes apparently is car club vehicle apparently for the month. Hermes, I'm pretty sure it was actually a free vehicle back in Surprise like 2017, like winter 2017. This was the other vehicle you could get entirely for free. So it's really not that crazy good to get it. It is a very cool, like, iconic retro nostalgic vehicle back from Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which is a pretty fun vehicle in that game. In like the Vice City games, there's even like the King, like Cuban Hermes, which is really sick. I think it even has like kind of like a suspension kind of gimmick thingy to it or something. Kind of like a lowrider vehicle, but you don't have like direct control over like the suspension like a lowrider vehicle or something. I think it kind of lowers and like raises by like how you drive it or something, if I remember right, which is kind of interesting for the GTA Online one in particular. I think it's only like that for GTA Online, so I could be wrong, but yeah. San Andreas could add something like that too, that like actual like, proper hydraulics or something. I kind of forget the Hermes in San Andreas, but I kind of think it was actually as well there. Just not the cool Cuban version, of course. But performance-wise, I'm pretty sure Hermes doesn't really do much for performance. So it is really just a gimmicky kind of like muscle car vehicle, and that's rich nostalgic, I would say. Again, it was literally free in 2017, though. So it's hard to say, like, just buying it. I will say, I think it got brought back to the vehicle website. I think in this DLC, when there's the lock-on jammer, it actually does it as a lock-on jammer, which it didn't have before this update, I think. So if you had Hermes for like a while, and for some reason I've got them as a lock-on jammer, do you know you can actually get them as a lock-on jammer? I'm pretty sure on this vehicle, they'll just update.
Take a bus next time. You're killing the sidewalk.
The road is not really much more I can say, so that's for that stuff. Looks like the Walton L35, 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 not the drip variant. It looks like it's just a regular variant. Interesting, I think that drip variant was only around for like a couple of event weeks. I think it's like a special like free vehicle they've done a couple of times, and I think that's it. And it's not usually even on the vehicle website even. So I saw just a couple of events, so it's unsurprising it's the regular and like not the drip version of the Walton L35, L35. Guess what, like an off-road vehicle? I don't even think it's that good of an off-road vehicle either, if I recall. Like, it's not like Drager, like Vagrant, or Vagrant, like Terminus levels or anything. And obviously on newer platforms, where you have to have a newer platform for it to run the club. Even, by the way, you even have HSW as well. And there's probably even like other more traditional like off-road vehicles are in higher placed than that, yeah. Obviously not every new obviously yeah, not every new release is going to be the best vehicle out there. I'm not trying to say it should be or anything, I'm just trying to spit out the facts or whatever. It is based on the Walton, by the way, a retro nostalgia vehicle from Grand Theft Auto Vice City or San Andreas. I think it was an original Vice City first before San Andreas. One of the two, though. So it is based on the regular Walton, but it's technically a new Walton for GTA Online at the same time, though. So it might be one of the weakest vehicles on the list. Maybe not as weak as Hermes, who was a free vehicle again in 2017. But definitely one of the weaker vehicles that the line was done. Looks like the Pipistrello is the next one here. That was the electric car that released Agent Sabotage, right? I think so. If not, I released something like Bondar Bounties or something, I think, like summer 2024 or something. Quite an old electric supercar. I think it started a trend of like an electric supercar like every update, like the last few updates even too, if I recall right. Even like what was it, like P-Fister Extreme I think was just updates like electric vehicle. Now I think this one is like really good lap time if I remember right. Like it might actually be a top 10 like lap time. But I think it has like one of the worst top speeds of the whole entire supercar class at the same time. So I think it's really crazy acceleration, like really good lap time, but it's absolutely horrible on the top speed apparently, if remembering right. And it's just plus discount stuff. I'm not going to go over actual performance numbers on these, just be aware, but yeah. Like if you're looking for good lap time, good acceleration, like the one like best trait of electric vehicles is acceleration, like 0-60, how quick something gets at top speed, but at top speed does also tend to suffer greatly for that reason. Again, you can get from 0 to like 60, like a literal, like almost instant top speed, but the top speed is always going to be like really lackluster at the same time. It's kind of trade-off you get for a lot of the electric vehicles, but it's actually really good for getting out like gunfights and free modes, so it could be worth it. But again, with an update pretty much around the corner, might be worth just saving your money instead. Like, you can get the Oppressor Mark II, I would say, over the Pipistrello. If you had to get like one vehicle on the list so far, definitely the Mark II Oppressor for sure. Like, no matter how overhated and stuff it might be in the game. I said overused, but I do also think it's overhated as well at the same time. Alright, so next time let's see the Ocelot Ardent. I saw Arden is a sports classics vehicle on the Warstock website, I'm pretty sure. It's on the Warstock website because there's pretty much machine guns on it. Now, I feel that very easily could have fit on the Legendary website since they had like ones like the Comet Safari to also like the Paramount machine guns and like say Doomsday Heist. This also came out with like gun running, which didn't really have like civilian like weaponized vehicles on like Legendary Motorsports, suppose. And yeah, stuff like the Comet Safari again was like 6 months or so later or something. Maybe like 5-6 months or so. But yeah, Ardent for the longest time I think used to be a non-raceable sports classics vehicle. And eventually it was finally a raceable vehicle at some point. I forget when, but I think it was like in the last couple years you could finally like race with it and it would disable like the guns on it or something. And when that initially happened, I think it was like S tier, like A tier. It might have been not even actually been S tier, it might have been A tier at the initial start of that, but also, especially with this latest update where there's been like a couple really good like sports classics in the game, I don't know how like good I would suggest it would perform nowadays though. Like literally just the latest update, aside for the GT750, I believe every like new sports classic vehicle is like pretty much like an A tier or something like that, if I remember right. Like some of the top of the whole class now, even like top like 10 or so. So this mean actually might be out like top 10 or something like lap time at least for sure, I would say. But still, it's a weaponized sports classic with front mounted machine guns. You could use it for like a little like headhunter VIP work or something like a measly 20-ish K or something. And yeah, that kind of thing will always just be better to do with like a whole number vehicle, like a Savage attack helicopter, maybe like a 160 Raiju, for example, like I said earlier. But I mean, you could still do it if you wanted to. Use like mounted like vehicle weaponry instead of having to like use your own weaponry, like using up ammo. Basically. Like you could, but you probably shouldn't. Yeah, you very much could do something like that. So the vehicle is honestly not that bad. I would say it's alright to even kind of decent with the back end front mounted machine guns, so you can add to it. Like, at least. It's more you can say for a lot of other vehicles in the game for sure, but yeah. And yeah, after that was the Turismo Classic. Yes, the Turismo Classic. This one, again, since you need newer platforms for run the club, it is actually an HSW eligible vehicle, one of the 3 HSW sports classics in the game. Alongside the HSW Sterling GT and the latest DLC released a new P-Fistra Strong Sports Classics HSW. So this one actually does remain the #1 lap time for Sports Classics. P-Fistra Straw didn't dethrone it, section number 2 for the new P-Fistra Straw. And I believe this one's actually number 2 for top speed. I believe sadly the P-Fistra Straw actually ended up being the worst of the 3 for top speed at number 3, unfortunately. Which kind of just goes to show when this one's doing that much better in like the Straw in a sense. Like still managing even since like launch being the #1 lap time. Like, sports classic since that launch and like the new nitrogen version. Yeah, like the Straw was kind of disappointing for HSW in this sense. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie. It's also in a class with like classic vehicles can't really like fit like an electric E like acceleration kind of one. Albeit it does have some like interesting looking headlights, which kind of to me when I was thinking of the class, maybe it goes to like some electric vehicle. But then I thought about this class, I was like, yeah, no, I don't think it's electric actually. Here's my classic's absolutely very good one. Probably one of the better ones you could get if you did have to get anything for the like month plus. But yeah, with a new DLC coming out next month, apparently it's pretty much all but confirmed. Pretty much all but confirmed it's coming out next month, and it seems like it will be coming out like the 14th or something, going up with the different plus event ending of like Monday or Tuesday versus like the usual like Wednesday, Thursday or something. Yeah, it's more of a time to save your money rather than buy expensive vehicles in the game like right now. Unless you have like a fuck ton of money to spend or something. And then the Dominator GT. This is one of the couple tuners of class Dominators, if I recall right? Or is that the GTT? Is there a GTT? But I think it is. I think it's the worst of the two, like tuners of class, like Dominators or something, so... That one... I wouldn't use it for the Street Pursuit races being the worst of the two for tuners of class Dominators. The one place you could use it for nicely would be the robbery contracts, but you can also do that pretty much with the ASP, which is just better Dominator, like the tuner subclass ones. I would only get for the unique classing it provides for the tuner subclass, and it's only 2 muscle car, like tuner subclass vehicles in the game. But again, the ASP I think just basically does everything it does, but better. So just get Dominator ASP if you're looking for a tuner subclass, Dominator if you don't care for like one of them. I would say. And then it looks like, what, another tuner subclass of the Vector? It looks like. Now this one actually could use for Street Pursuit races. It's actually pretty good on the lap time. However, it is absolutely terrible on the top speed. I'm pretty sure it's actually one of the best at lap times, but at the same time it's also one of the worst top speeds. Or at least it was one of the best lap times before the like Chester RR wide body ended up coming out in the last winter's Agent Style Dodge DLC. I think that could change the class up enough to where maybe it's not considered all that good versus say like the Chester RR wide body and like the Sultan RS Classic. That's very good lap time, I think even better than the Vector, but also it's like average top speed as well, I think. So yeah, this one's a very double-edged sword. If it's a lap time heavy course for like a Street Pursuit race, then the Vector will be very good, but if there's like quite a good amount of straight, then it's going to suffer heavily. And then yeah, for rally contracts, it probably won't be as good as the Dominator GT that's on here, of course, before. And you have the regular HSRR as the rear loopers on it. It's also pretty much like second best top speed on like the Hardy Way or something. You might as well just use that or something for rabbit contracts like instead. basically. And it ends with a Stromberg, which is a free vehicle, so we talked about that one a good bit already. Yes, but after the Vector, yes, it's a Stromberg. Like I body for something, though. Like, come on, though. Yes. Fuck. One more fuck ass time, hopefully that's it, though. After the Emperor Vector does end up being offset Stromberg, which is a free vehicle, so that means it basically talked about all the vehicles and finally. Alright, so. Again, there's a few more things to talk about for the subscription, like I said earlier. I wasn't including that in the count, by the way. Yeah. Kush, weed, whatever, don't really care. Audio business, document forgery, whatever, again, do not overly care. Post promotion, whatever. And then now it's tourist board for day of Tuesday this time around is yes. For I would say for Bor, you pretty much find news at the Chilliwack Mountain State Wilderness, like Mount Chiliad, like the craziest wilderness areas of the whole game, basically. Yeah, by the way. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned this particular time, by the way, but yeah. The LS Toursport stuff is only on the newer platforms, so if you're not on a newer platform, you don't have this feature. But yeah, boards again, I would say you would find those out in the most wilderness heavy areas of the game, like Show Mountain State Wilderness, Mount Chiliad kind of areas, like pretty high, like north parts of the map. Or whatever, basically. Rabbits would be pretty much similar, but you can find those in a lot more variety of places by comparison. Like, you can find rabbits in, like, Vinewood Hills areas, Show Mountain State Wilderness, Mount Chiliad, even probably other mountain areas like Mount Gordo, all that kind of stuff, of course, that you might not be finding boars, of course. One of the mansions, if I recall right, there was like some like issue with the mansion, like one of the mansions early on where like rabbits were like dying or something, if I recall, like swimming pools or something. It might be like the middle mansion, like not the. I mean, by Devon West's mansion, wouldn't be surprised if not far from there. At least you can find rabbits as well. Like the mansion I had, for example, the cheapest one, like close to Sandy Shores. But yeah, what is there, like the Vinewood Hills mansion or one around there? I think rabbits would be there. Again, I kind of already mentioned Vinewood Hills, but that kind of might narrow down some search areas a bit more, so we ought to mention that. And then Hen, I think you pretty much find out like the farmland areas of like Grapeseed or something, if I recall, basically. Close to like Grapeseed, like airstrip and stuff, for example. Another maybe like deserty, like farmland areas might be able to have hens, for example. Basically. So this Tuesday round is pretty easy to find, I would say, for sure. But yeah, I'll basically do everything, by the way, for the vehicles until like probably the LS car meet, like after that or something. I'll probably decide to go over the FE plus stuff remaining, by the way. But before that, I'll go over the like time trial stuff like usual. That's some stuff that wouldn't have been done before, per se. So I'll go on GT series videos can post, so I don't have to hover over the time trial and know what it is. Why not? Okay, so it turns out time trial, the regular time trial is LSI 2. Kind of expected since it seemed like it was one of the newer ones. I think it's been the newer ones lately. Hasn't say it rolled back to like the Spoochie Beach area, I believe, for example. Where I think like the very first one ever was, for example. Hasn't been like there forever, for example. So it's LSI 2, so if you played the first LSI one, it might be very similar to that one. If it's not very similar, it will be close enough or something maybe where you can maybe take stuff from that one. The good thing about the airport ones is you could have some pretty nice highway access, so it might be a better time trial for top speed for once over lap time for that reason. Yeah, I'd look into what the best like motorcycles, cars, or sport cars pretty much are for like lap time or top speed. You'll pretty much want to stick to one of those breed classes, since those are basically the most advanced HSW classes, and those would also be like the most advanced like regular vehicle classes as well. Motorcycles, cars, and sports cars. And yeah, with the latest changes of the regular time trials, I think we're like as late as like San Andreas Mercenaries DLC back in like summer 2023. When that update first came out, I think they actually kind of made it to a daily thing, but eventually they kind of went back to weekly format. So I think since it was kind of put into a daily format, just to be put back to weekly format, I think you get the same one each day of the week. But then I think you get a daily payout like 50k each day you do it or something. So say if you did the same time trial 7 days a week, I want to see you get like $350,000, I'm going to say, up to, if you are willing to do that much effort for the regular time trial for some reason. And then the daily RC Bandito time trial is on for day Tuesday. Is Vespucci Canals of a 1 minute 53-second car time. As the name does imply, you can use one single vehicle of the RC Bandito. So yes, that's the only vehicle you're allowed to use. So strategies are based on turns, corners, basically like how you take those turns, corners. If you don't take them well, you can always like do the respawn mechanical triangle, one Xbox, whatever key it is on PC. And now you and yes, fuck, that way you respawn. So yes. Like I said, you always, like I said, yes, you can always respawn with a triangle, one Xbox, whatever key in PC. If you mess up a turn corner, restart all over again. And keep proceeding to until you win it, of course, eventually. And then, if not, then I would look up a video guide, basically. So it's basically doing a ton of trial error with the turns, corners, or a video guide for the advice, I would say. What I would say. The weekly HSW time trial, by the way, is the Ron Norton is 151 or whatever. This one's by the week, so it will be on the GTA Series 6 community post. I won't hover over it, but I'll say what it is. They describe it as Run Alternate Solution Island, but yeah, I believe the official name is Run Alternates or something, something. But in the Ellis car meet, there's a whole laptop that will give you the vehicle list you can basically use for this set of time trials. So go over that basically later. But in terms of the route, I believe the GPS route. Oh, smarter point apparently. Okay, whatever. I don't overly care for those. Just want to point that out. Was all. So after that distraction, back to Ron Alternates. It's just a time trial though. For the route, I think the GPS routes go some legal routes only. I think for the most part we'll want you to go for this road, which is obviously pretty much inefficient, I would say, to do. Instead, you want to try to go straight for the train tracks, do a very specific jump, just enough to pretty much land right over here. Don't overshoot, maybe don't undershoot too much either. It can be kind of difficult, a little time consuming to pull it off, but if you get it off, it is very worth it for sure. For sure. If you don't just go straight across onto the road there, it definitely saves a ton of time, or a good amount, enough time to make it worth it anyways, at least. And yeah, there is a train tracks that might only really work well for the HSW Hotshot track, which is effectively the best vehicle to use for HSW time trials. If there's one vehicle that actually could use the train tracks to do it well, it would probably be that particular motorcycle. But I don't really feel that's probably likely to be the case, though. I think it's the case, though. See, on the route I mentioned earlier, just to do that straight, pretty much. Might be the one real, shortcut on this one, quite frankly. I will say, when you get to this area of, a lot of, different roads, bro, this whole section of, highway or something. Then, yeah, the GPS route can get pretty finicky. When that happens, you basically want to be going on this road here that basically goes towards here. So you want to go to the second rightmost road basically, or the second kind of east road for where your vehicle will be facing basically. The one that goes more this way or something. Again, the GPS route I think gets finicky here because of all the crazy amount of roads over here, and doesn't happen much of other areas in the game. But be aware of that because you can definitely mess up if you're not paying attention. I would say. You can maybe do some shortcuts around here where there's a lot of open dirt area, for example. That could be kind of risky. I don't know if it would be that worth it to do that. Again, I feel the beginning shortcuts are really the one shortcut to do, really, pretty much. And when you get through the bridge and then the turn, you're basically set. Again, it'll basically just be the GPS route. It's pretty much a GPS route after that one shortcut at the beginning, basically, arguably. It's just a matter of understanding and realizing that the GPS route gets finicky here and not to mess up anything like that, of course, though. So again, there's a whole list of vehicles on that laptop in the LS car meet. I'll probably go over that or anything else, basically, if it's basically. So I'm not saying like a billion years longer than that or anything. And junk energy is about a day. So for day 2, so just turn around junk energy town Charles Redwood Lights track with a 1 minute 50-second part time. So for these, as long as you don't fall off the bicycle, go where you need to go and maximize on the curse boost. Doing those couple things, you should have no problem completing the junk energy time trial. If not, then I would just recommend a video guide. It's pretty very similar advice to the RC Bandito time trial, because you effectively have only one vehicle to use of the junk energy inductor. You can technically also use the regular inductor, the one without delivery, if you bring your own, but it's basically the same vehicle as the junk energy inductor anyways. You are not allowed to use 2013 bicycles, it's only the 2023 ones with the curse boost on them from the Sanders Summer Series DLC. Same ones that released on the same day as the junk energy town trials. So it should be pretty straightforward. HSW and junk energy are pretty much also the easiest ones to complete. Field later sets are definitely easier, like time trials of the game. Personally, from my experience. Finally, last but not least, kind of this kind of usual section here, we're going over time trials premium race. Premium race for the event this time around is for off-road class. So we'll go over off-road HSW vehicles, at least for that reason. So yeah, for lap time, since there's actually 2 HSWs exactly for off-road class, for lap time you want to be using HSW Monstrosity for newer platforms, and for top speed you want to use the Fireball ESP HSW. Most likely you'll want to use the lap time ones, since races are much more focused on the lap time on average and top speed, unless it's like a very particular kind of course, as I'll go over in a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, if you have like the Draugr, like the Maxwell, Vagrant, maybe the Terminus, I think would be the next one. I think those are all the best ones, if I remember right. Like the top 3 or like the A tier ones at least, or something. Go on Breathy 1322's vehicle spreadsheet here, of course. Just in case I forget or anything. Alright, yeah, I said Draugr back on Vagrant and Terminus. I guess I remembered exactly what the A tiers were for those three, it turns out for the legacy platforms. So again, newer platforms, you want to stick to the 2 HSWs. On an older legacy platforms, you want to be using the Draugr, Vagrant, and Terminus. And I'm talking regular Terminus, obviously, because Patrol 1 would be emergency class. And not reusable in opera class, basically, or really any racing as a whole, apparently. Now, what is lap time and what is top speed? Lap time is turns, corners in the city. But yeah, most race courses are going to have like some heavy amount of lap time that makes them more spec towards lap time. Hence why the spreadsheet, like, much more prioritizes the lap time the spreadsheet does in roughly 1.22 racing YouTuber, because it's just so much more important. Pretty much. And top speed's going to pretty much matter for the pure straights, like your highways. The highway courses, you'll probably want to use a top speed course instead. Same if one's on like airport runway. Basically. And then airstrips, which technically could include the Tonga Hills one, possibly, for all I know. There isn't really any newer rocks that create like land races. I think they're all pretty much like older content, like the early days of the game. Like most likely won't have one here that's like actually on the airstrip or anything. Or that like newer airstrip unless Winter Agent Sabotage DLC. But for other airstrips, the ones that were always in the game, you have the Grand Smoke Desert and Grapeseed ones, Savasido. And then, yes. After that, I think all I really have to say is, how do you know what the race course is going to be? If I'm not going for actual race course, you can do square for start job. That'll be X on Xbox, whatever key it is on PC. I believe at Michael's garage area, like a sport car garage area for that. Like for car garage area, you can kind of buy from Michael in story mode, which again is in the Plus subscription finally for this month and onwards, it seems. Yeah, that garage you can buy from Michael, it's, I believe, located there. And if you go to the physical Corona, you can do, like, right on D-pad. And then you can also do, like, on-call for the phone. Which, those are basically your 3 ways of doing it. I guess hard for pauses, my body for some reason is me, like, a prick right now, obviously. That's obviously no. And yeah, at least the first 2 methods will take you into the lobby screen, like the initial lobby screen. I'm pretty sure. So it'll take you into that initial like lobby screen, and when you get into the lobby screen, you can do that same button again at the square X on Xbox, whatever key on PC will show you the map of the race. And then if you forget to do it on the lobby screen, you only have like one more try or chance to remember to do that, and that's when you choose a vehicle. Assuming what you do when you choose a vehicle, then you might remember like lap times, top speeds, like performances of a vehicle better like that way, or it might be more for on-call purposes, even for all I know. For all I know. Alright, so yeah, that basically covers the premium race. That basically covers everything now before the casino. So yeah, podium vehicle was not one over. They don't go for podium vehicles and newswires anymore. So those don't really get one over on the newswire, unfortunately. So I'll have to go over that. It kind of looks like a Civic 6 convertible. Could be wrong. That's the Class A logo actually on the back, so that pretty much most definitely is the Class A 6 convertible indeed, like I was expecting. I'll 100% confirm when I start talking about it though, of course. 5,000 visitorship bonus. What the visitor bonus, whatever though. 1,703,000 on premium chips. The character gets
a reminder to our VIP members: take advantage of our luxury valet, limousine, and helicopter services.
One lucky wheel spin pretty much for an event, since I hate how it's 24 hours after you spin and doesn't like reset daily objective timing. Pretty inconsistent, stupid I find. It's really predatory. I think never changed that. $30,000 I'll very much take. I'm very happy with any amount of cash I get from that, actually. Alright, that's $8,981,503. Almost $9 million, and a huge part of that was part of 500K, of course. I'm grinding, doing multiple hits off stream. And I'll say that the other missions on stream on the last stream for this. I want to watch my attempt there for whatever reason. But unlikely, obviously. So, Because Iron Sandra Super Auto is definitely on that website, I swear for sure. Should be 2 doors, well, I'm guessing. Literally, yeah, Chop Chop DLC. It's actually on the screen right now, as a matter of fact. But again, actually, before I go any further, I need to confirm for sure that it is. But I swear it's definitely on the it's convertible. I know the vehicle requires enough. I've used it for HSW time trials for like a couple months straight or something after all. Or almost like 2 months straight at least. Yes, it is in fact the Classic Vigor ZX convertible. So how valuable the vehicle is highly depends actually on what platform you're playing on for this particular vehicle. Because as it turns out, it does actually have the House Special Works upgrades available. The free option of Dallas Car Me, or if you have Plus, you can also do it if you have a Club Garage to dedicate like Plus garage property or mansions require Plus as well. For whatever reason, for yes, whatever reason. Huge part of why I despise the Plus subscription is because, yeah, something like that would probably be a quality of life improvement for the game without a subscription if it didn't say, like, exist until, like, say, the next you take, you know, or anything. But yeah, Garrett's X convertible is for the muscle car class. The one on the podium is technically the traditional one, so let me just go over that. I'll probably go over HSW as well, because most people on newer platforms will probably be looking to the HSW version, of course, most likely, if you have like enough money to get it, and if for some reason you haven't gotten the vehicle yet, for some reason. But apparently, the regular Vigero CX convertible is an A-tier muscle car, according to the roughly 152's vehicle spreadsheet, racing YouTuber GTA Online. And that's apparently good enough for 9th place for a lap time, and then 11th place for top speed. Again, that's for the non-HSW version. So even a non-HSW version actually is good enough, apparently, when it comes to a top 10 for a lap time, which is actually pretty crazy. That'd actually even be good enough for 6th place if you took out the top 3 HSW options, or the top 3 for muscle car class as a whole. And technically, since I believe it's pretty much performs the same as the regular Vigero ZX, it technically in a way could even be like considered even a 5th place, like top 5 without HSW for a lap time. Like at best case scenario. But yeah, mostly for the sake of the spreadsheet to differentiate them, I think they do slightly different lap time. Apparently the roof version does seem to perform a little tad better according to the spreadsheet, but it's barely even a difference. I wouldn't even be surprised if you have the same handling. Like, this kind of stuff. Yes, so the HSW Vigero ZX still apparently is S tier, as you would pretty much expect for the all special works upgrade. In a 2nd place lap time or 3rd place top speed, which again, if it does perform exactly the same as the roof version, you can say it's as high as the number 1 lap time and even like number 2 top speed. So it's supremely good if you do the HSW upgrade. So 100% get the HSW upgrade if you're on newer platforms. But even without HSW, it's a really decent lap time vehicle. Or alright to decent lap time vehicle again. Our cargo shipments apparently maxed out. Okay, whatever. Definitely should be more tires than one. I could just haven't, to be honest. already played a good amount. She town on playing like 6 new missions kind of in a way. Started playing the game for like arguably what, like an hour or two, which is like of actual content, which is more unusual for nowadays race streams. Yeah, so yeah, I think after I was Carmi, I'll be going over the remaining few plus things going on. But for now, we'll be at the Carmi here to go over that stuff. Some of the only like new stuff to go over basically. I didn't get to go over last spin for the 2 weeks of stuff they went over on the last week's roster news wire. So apparently the Vapid Riata from Doomsday, I'm pretty sure for DLCs here for one, like the first test drive vehicle. There's also the Inverter Quick. It's actually a day 1 vehicle on that one. And the Grotto GT500 is another Doomsday vehicle, I believe. So 2 from that DLC, actually. Looks like so that's for the day 1 quick. We got a Vapid Riata, like a trucky off-road vehicle. It doesn't exactly look the quickest. I've already literally went over with like the top, like the A tier options basically were. So it's obviously not one of those. Probably won't really get this one. Most definitely not. But yeah, Quick is basically a mid-tier sports car, I believe. Nowadays, like at best. Power creep in sports is absolutely insane throughout the different years, obviously. I don't think really a single like day 1 vehicle obviously is even in like top 10 or anything, so like yeah. That's definitely not really what I get for performance. It's retro nostalgia from at least HD Universe, like earlier HD Universe, like GT4 episodes of Liberty City. I don't think it's a pretty universe vehicle if I recall correctly. Could be wrong now. But I don't think it is. And in Grotti GT500, I wouldn't be surprised if it's had like a bit of a resurgence with the GT750 that came out with the Safehouse and Hills DLC. So if you're a fan of that vehicle, you might be a fan of the GT500 as well. For sports classics, besides for that, again, the GT750, like I was kind of saying earlier, when going over like the Turismo Classic, HSW, I think, like a couple different sport classics, I think were like the plus vehicle list for the month that I was going over that were sport classics. So I was already talking a lot about like top sport classic vehicles. Because they're like both Dart and like Turismo Classic HSWs, I believe. Again, I said the one that wasn't good in the latest update, I think, was the GT750, so I would say GT500 probably just performs even worse than that even, so that's definitely not a performance vehicle right there for the GT500. I'm pretty sure those are definitely not on discounts, so I'm not going to go over performance numbers, therefore then. Yeah, going on to remove vehicle state spreadsheet, assuming everything's correct this time around. I think the last like 2 or 3 times there's been like one vehicle not properly documented on there. last 2.5 like 3-ish years since Sanders Mercenaries like summer 2023's DLC came out. That was where like I think at the time like 200 plus vehicles got bolted in the game from like vehicle websites. Therefore, you pretty much had to get them from vehicle dealerships, or unless it was like a rare case where the vehicle was like in free mode and it's like under like $100,000 for the like vehicle website pricing. Then I think you could technically like steal it instead of like going to a dealership and then share it with like a tracker, whatever, to make it like a personal vehicle. That way, yeah, for the most part, pretty much once you have found a dealership, you're not gonna say gain it from like another player from the car meet or something, unless you like buy the build of a vehicle or something. And for that, the Riata is apparently documented to be available for the 12th time now, apparently, on a vehicle dealership. So it does in appearances on a vehicle dealership since being bolted like almost 3 years ago at this point. But the Coquette apparently being an extra appearance at 13 times. And the GT 500 is apparently won a couple of the highest appearance rate. It looks like at 14 appearances for this particular event week. So each of these vehicles have been available in this particular dealership at least a dozen times at this point. So kind of higher appearance rates. But as the vehicles are bolted out less and less, actually kind of get that at this point in a way with a lot of things at this point. It's not necessary to teach you how truly good that is. It's like here it's the Grati Cheetah Classic, it looks like, for the like prize or vehicle just turn around apparently. And yeah, for whatever reason, whatever reason, prize art vehicles are pretty much always vehicles in the vehicle website. I don't really understand why per se, since they're usually very easy to get a hold of. Whatever though. Looks like for the Cheetah Classic, you actually need one single top one. So at least for this one, you don't have to grind like a couple different like few or so different days or something. This one you can really just get first place a single time. You basically get the vehicle. So pretty good. It is at least at one point it was a pretty high sports classics. Albeit nowadays you have like the Cheetah Classic wide body that came out last update for the Money Runs DLC, which is basically just a better version of the Cheetah Classic and with like no customizations by comparison. But yeah, I think this is like the older one from like the 2010s, not the newer one from like 2025, of course. So again, wide body, whatever. So yeah, pursuit races are 4 players, which gives you only 25% chance to be in the top 1, which is not really ideal odds. So you definitely want to do like a street race, a 2-player street race for 50% chance. And especially if you're doing it with a friend, you can exchange ones with friends, so you and your friend can get it like really easily if you're, say, like both looking for that vehicle for some reason. And yeah, as for the sprint races, like the 3-month sprint races, I'm not actually sure if those count. Unless car meets series races might be ones that have to go to like the lobby screen. So the sprint races, 3-month sprint races probably don't count. I'm taking a guess. And then drag and drift races came out in 2023. The initial press out system came out in 2021. I don't think Rockstar, aside from this very specific quality of life improvements they do each update, I don't really think, aside for those, they really go back for like legacy content to like update it to be more consistent with like newer stuff. So I don't assume you can really do the drag drift races. I know solo for sure you cannot, but with like 2 or more players, I don't know technically. I've never done a drag drift race more than myself, I'll be honest, since they're solo. But, you know, Yes, yeah, so. But doing like a street race with like a friend or like exchange wins with a friend, or if not, just keep street racing against like one single other player and just eventually win it. Sure, it'll happen like probably in like an hour. I'm guessing if you try hard enough. Like at like worst, unless like a complete noob at the game or something. Yeah, that basically explains what you should do about the Cheetah Classic. I would say. I would say. It should be an Electric Motorsport website. Not quite a popular vehicle according to Rockstar, apparently. Or Cockstar, whatever, 1-all or something. So yeah, I was comparing it to one that's basically a better performing one. So unfortunately, I don't really think it's the greatest anymore since it's the kind of better performing one. It was like Gunring DLC. Alright, I was kind of there, but I don't think I was like fully down there to see the name of the vehicle anyways. I kind of saw the appearance of it to be fair, but yeah. Even before I said Gunring, kind of knew it was like within like 2017 time frame or something. I kind of know when vehicles come out for the most part. Like it's kind of a memory for the most part. So the Cheetah Classic doesn't even have like a missile lock-on jammer. Like really anything unique to. If you do want a missile lock-on jammer, I think the wide body one actually has a built-in one. I believe just like the just our wide body had when that came out. So if you do want a lock-on jammer on the Cheetah Classic, you could for now at least, unless they add lock-on jammer to this one in the next update or something. You could technically just go for the wide body version of the Cheetah Classic if you want one of these, but with better performance. Lack of customization, sure, but also a missile lock-on jammer. I think that's an option. The $865,000 could probably grind in like 1 hour easily if you wanted to. It's not that bad of a grind. Gear's the convertible by comparison for the couple million it was probably like 2.5, like 3 hour grind or something by comparison. Just nowhere near as bad as that vehicle for grinding. But yeah, going on the spreadsheet from earlier, like I've said, from that one particular creator. In the Sports Classics class, yeah, I don't expect to be the craziest anymore since there's a better performing one nowadays. But it's apparently an A tier, apparently, for. Turns out both the LSC and the regular are still at both A tier, apparently. They're still good enough for a 9th place a lot of time, as well as a 15th place top speed. It turns out. Which isn't anywhere near as good as the LCM Cheetah Classic, like wide body one. But it's not bad being within top 10 all that time still, for sure though. I would say it's still an alright to decent vehicle if you wanted it. Yeah. There's just a better version of it. Again. And what is it? The classic one based on either the Vice City or the San Andreas Cheetah? I don't think it's based on GTA 3 Cheetah, either Vice City or San Andreas. So this particular build of Cheetah being based on the Vice City San Andreas also has like a lot of retro nostalgia-ness to it as well for reverse, which I really enjoy on vehicles as well. As a personal preference kind of thing. Okay, and it turns out the HSW Premium Test Ride, whatever is the newest release of HSW, the P-Fister Straw. I think I pretty much said what it performed as earlier, since there was Turismo Classic that said was going over for the Plus subscription, of course, for like a vehicle at the club garage or something, something. So I said earlier, it's second place lap time and third place top speed of the three sports classics HSWs. So if you didn't want to get all three of them, if you only want like the best one for lap time or top speed, you shouldn't really get this one for that reason. But like, there's only 3 HSW sports classics in the game. In each class, like the most in a single class, like 6 of them, HSWs are like pretty much some of the best performing of the whole game. There's no reason really not to get it if you wanted it though. I'm just saying it's not as impressive as the Judgment or the Strong GT HSWs. Yeah, it's honestly a bit kind of disappointing as all when it came out. So again, this is the list of vehicles you can use for HSW time trial. Bar the weaponized Ignis, I think the weaponized Ignis got taken out of the options to use in the Current Enterprise DLC. There was a small brief window of time between launch and before Current Enterprise you could actually use the weaponized Ignis on the HSW time trials without even being able to use a weapon, but then they just flat out blacklisted it for whatever reason. And yes, Sterling GT, it is actually back on the Legendary Motorsport website, like as of the Agent Sabotage, like last winter's DLC. But yeah, they never updated it to change it or anything, but it was actually brought between the Sanders Mercenaries until Agent Sabotage summer, not summer, but winter of 2024, basically. But it is actually on the vehicle website. All these actually are very much still on the vehicle website. There could be some other mistakes in the list for all I know, like wrong websites being listed. For all I know, but yeah. See guys. Like the podium vehicle obviously I showed was Southern, for example, earlier. Oh, and also a couple things to mention actually for a couple from Sanders Mercenaries DLC. Stinger TT and the Buffalo EVX have silk mine options. They'll be treated like weaponized Ignis, like they have like a weapon on them if you have silk mines on them. But you can also take off the silk mines like I have currently for the EVX, so you can use it in the HSW time trials actually. But I think only the weaponized Ignis you technically can no longer use on this list in any circumstance. Every other one there's some kind of workaround or is just flat out straight up allowed, obviously. But yeah, again, it's the latest release of DS Straw, because the Legendary Motorsport Limited Update, DLC, Bridge Repeat of Safehouse and Hills. Alright, so I did want to go over the rest of the Plus stuff, like I said. Like, pretty much after the Car Me, that's kind of just where I used to do, like, when I was... Before, like, the club app, I think, was being on the phone. I think when I was going to the property, I would pretty much do that after the Car Me. So that's why I try to go over any Plus stuff by that point. If I say don't forget on like rare chance once in blue moon or something. Alright, so there's a bunch of hanger stuff around 60% off, a massive 60% off, but only for the subscription, basically. It's basically. Yeah, cocaine, whatever. All the different hangers on amazement foreclosures are on a 60% discount if you have the subscription. Okay. So take off anything that's not a hanger. And actually also the McKinsey hanger, that's again another type of hanger. That's also included apparently. Apparently. So what? You're even going to get like under 600k for the cheapest hanger in the game? Have I seen that right? That's crazy. Crazy. Might be like a measly 480k actually for this hanger. Actually, that's 1.2 million normally. That might be $480,000 on 60% off, which is really cheap. For the basic hanger you can start in basically. Yeah, 1.2 million, 120,000 I think, yeah, is like 10% then. Surely then. So I think like 40,000 or something like I said earlier. Pretty cheap accessible hanger at a 60% discount for sure. And otherwise every other one would just be more expensive with the 60% regardless, obviously. I think that's the cheapest in Forcing Kudo in particular. Which means that would be second cheapest in particular at Forcing Kudo, and I think the one I have is actually the most expensive. I eventually went for the cheapest and most expensive for whatever reason. I think it had something to do with Sandra's Mercenary mission. I think for whatever reason, he was expensive, like, hanger to get, like, a tank spawn or something during, like, a mission for some reason. From what I've heard from GT Series videos or something on guide or something. And even Mackenzie would be apparently 60% off. I don't have a price for that though, since I actually cannot see anything regarding that. And it has no renovation whatsoever for this particular one. So yeah, I'll start off with a basic hanger. So apparently all the renovations, they'll also be 60% off in particular for regular hangers if you don't actually have renovations. So like this $320,000 would be even like less than like 160, like even like 150,000. I think probably the most expensive like cosmetic here. Lighting. There might be other options and more expensive ones. It seems there's only 2 here, but I think more expensive ones might even have more different lighting options. Yeah, those definitely should be getting even cheaper, and they're already pretty cheap for cosmetic stuff there. For graphics. Size is like 200,000, so even less should be getting like 5-digit, like 4 graphics saving, which is pretty crazy. Or a little crazy for a cosmetic, even all. Office furniture. Like early 100-ish KML for the most expensive. Looks like not bad. For a cosmetic thing, I suppose. But obviously the real two that matter will be your living quarters. For spawn purposes. But for spawning purposes, the living quarters. Or yes. For spawning purposes, the living quarters will be easily one of the 2 best things to get here for this. The modern F3 75,000. Like mid to high-ish, like 100-ish K amount. I think on 6%. Not the worst either. No, not the worst either. But that's just for these cosmetic for the most part. For the most part. Could even get living quarters for something like 100-ish K, possibly being like a little less than that, even for all I know. For all I know, it's not bad. Again, apparently you're going to need us to spawn at the hangars. Hangar is an absolutely very good spawn location. It's actually probably one of the best couple of few spawn locations of the whole entire game. It's that good. With the Raji gained a recent price increase too, you could even argue it is actually being the best spawn location too, since even Rockstar says that's like pretty much the best grinding vehicle in the game basically, and the fact they increased the price of that really, really recently in the latest DLC. So you could even argue it's actually the best spawn location in the whole entire game. Not even like top few, like for sure I would say. It's definitely for sure top 10 and like worse. It's probably like top 5 or top 3 at like a worst or like what most people would rank as a top spawn location. But yeah, it definitely has potential for number 1 spawn location in the whole entire game with a huge crazy aircraft variety spawns in the game at the start of a on session. And helicopters are pretty much some of the like best point A to point B travel vehicles in the whole entire game. Albeit in a player versus player situation, not the greatest, but for straight up grinding content, helicopters are some of the best vehicles to grind board. Again, F-160 Raji being a VTOL aircraft, like VTOL fighter jet basically. So basically. And then, yeah, the workshop, the aircraft workshop, that'll let you actually customize your aircraft, which is huge. And it wasn't always a thing, but I think standards for scenarios DLC onwards, so 2023 onwards, almost 4 years ago, they added the weapon workshop to here as well. Weapon workshops are literally things like 2017 to 2017 with Gunrun DLC in the bunker. But yeah, I don't think it increased the cost when they added that, so you're basically getting a free weapon. You're basically getting a free weapon workshop when you buy the like hangar ones. This 1,150,000 is actually only the cost of the actual like mod shop, since again the weapon workshop was actually not even added until 2020 for just mentioned properties. So you're basically getting a free weapon workshop with your hangar like aircraft workshop. However, you could technically get a fully free like weapon workshop, I believe, for Mark II weapons by just doing like a casino heist, I believe, for your arcade. I think when you do a casino heist for your arcade, you actually have an area to modify like Mark II weapons so you get entirely for free that you don't buy at all. That might be like the most free like weapon workshop that truly is. Since technically if you're buying one after St. Joe's Pursuits, you're still gonna pay like the million for like a workshop, or like of course though 60% off would be like 500-ish K or something, like 400, 500-ish K, I'm guessing, on the workshop. Again, if you have the 60% off for like plus, basically, so really, really good here. Definitely some really good hangar discounts right there, right there. And then yeah, Mackenzie. It is worth noting, by the way, your regular smuggler hangars only store up to 20 aircraft normally. Yeah, I believe the smuggler aircrafts do hold up to 35 aircrafts instead of 20. When you buy McKinsey hangar, it goes from 20 to 35. And then if you have plus, which you need plus for 60% off the hangars right now, you would actually get an extra 5 more slots from 35 to 40 even. So yeah, to maximize on your aircraft storage, you do unfortunately need a plus subscription, basically, which is very unfortunate. Yeah. Going from 35 to 40 aircrafts, get those extra few nice aircrafts could be nice, especially when they added some lock-on chambers to some of the stuff they as well. And then you also get access to that Oscar Guzman because it flies away like again missions. So like addicts, but yes. At their inception, I would say the like Oscar Guzman fly is again away whatever missions were actually pretty good for money making. I think when it first came out, you didn't have to actually like acquire everything, like the armor and everything, but I think eventually they like did a hot fix where you have to actually like steal everything, like equipment wise, once again each time you do it, like you obviously do for like a heist or something, which made the grind a lot worse for it, I would say, and not as worth it, unfortunately. Plus No Way Out came out like a year later or something, and it's a very similar strand of like stronger missions where you get like a few $100,000 after completion or something. No Way Out or even the Cluckamel Farm Raid might even just be better options, unfortunately not being paywall to a property, of course. Yes, fuck. Yeah, Cluckamel Farm Raid is not tied to property, it definitely isn't. If anything, you might need like a police vehicle or something for some reason for it, but yeah, it's not. I don't know. Those are actually pretty expensive. I don't think you even do need a police vehicle for those. And in No Way Out's not directly tied to the mansion, only the Sweet Home mission, I'm pretty sure is. So obviously No Way Out's not tied to like a property that you have to like buy, like the Oxygen because it flies away again, whatever. So yeah, honestly, Cluckamel Farm Raid and No Way Out are probably better options. Or other similar types of mission strands, strong things. Oh, okay, I'm doing the wrong type. I thought this one was supposed to disappear or something. Right, I was being Mackenzie one, my bad. I don't know how I understand that. Probably because the fucker has body parts I'm carrying, of course, so. And you do also get the arms trafficking missions for the Oscar Guzman flies away again, whatever, like Mackenzie Anger in general, I mean. But I don't think those missions are that good, if I remember right. I think they're like premium missions. They pay maybe like 40, 50-ish K, but they're also like longer premium missions. So I think for 40, 50-ish K, I think it might be better for doing like security contracts or the pay-phone hits, I believe, for like contract deals. Yeah, I believe those are better missions for that similar kind of payout, I believe, versus like their like the smuggler missions, whatever, for Mackenzie Anger, I believe, for sure. So the 60% hanger discounts have been pretty good. Pretty good. Smuggler sell missions are apparently 2 times money RP for the subscription only. Makes sense with the hanger discounts, so they would have that going on. I think land sales used to be better than the air sales when those came out. And Sanders Mercenaries are 2023, I'm pretty sure. Like about 3 years ago now, basically then, yes, yes, five. Well, I find the hangar stuff is pretty fun, whether you do air or the like land sales, personally. Especially the air sales. I haven't actually done many land sales to say 100% like how good those are. I don't think they're actually that solo friendly. Actually, you do them by air, but by land, they're like very solo friendly as well. And again, it's using it. I haven't done many of the land sales silver or not. But I'm pretty sure from my memory, switching for silver versus land sales for bigger stuff and grander stuff. It's a businessy kind of thing, so obviously you're going to get like tons of money for it as well. I don't think you have to say much more there. There's all kinds of different like sale missions, especially when there's like the air ones from the initial launch as well as the main ones later on. I'm not gonna say like the different varieties of stealth missions. There's probably like, too many to want to mention for that, unfortunately. But if you're doing land, I think that F-160 Raiju is very good for all the source missions. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the F-160 Raiju alone actually does the source missions really well, actually, from what I've heard, actually, for the land sales in particular, at least. Again, apparently everything about land is just better since those are added later on when the game is a lot, like, more round, obviously, and, like, the, like, structures and missions got more figured out and everything in the game, or whatever. Or like a lot more user friendly, whatever. There's also apparently like 5 times money RP on the cheese catches, apparently. Now, it's not the same like hidden catches that are going on. I believe those are a whole different thing, honestly. It wouldn't be 5 times for like plus and then I think they're the same thing. I think there's a times right money thing. I think it stacks. Discounts don't stack, but I think like money ones do. So cheese cash is obviously a different type of cash than the hidden cash is going on right now for the general then. So yeah, these things are 5 times money RP. No joke, I think you can get like 100k per cheese cash you do, and there's like one every single day. I think it resets in like daily objective time at like 10, 11 p.m. PST time, I think, Pacific Standard Time. For an example, basically. And you can use the terabyte collectible scanner. You have a real easy time of finding it if you have the terabyte collectible scanner. Albeit, yeah, it costs like $1 million or so. I think if you don't already like have that for some reason, and assuming you can already have the vehicle, that doesn't even account if you need like to buy the vehicle or even like one of the properties to store it in or something. Even know. But yeah, terabyte collectible scanner makes it really easy to do. Just pull out the terabyte real quick and use it to find it. Easy. But I think you get like high 10k and like low 20k if you normally or something. So yeah, you're pretty much going to get like 100k I think per one on 5 times. Very, very worth it for sure. For the money. And for like a plus event, obviously those last for like a couple months. So you probably get like a couple few $1 million if you do one of those like each day, basically. It's quick, easy, 100k each day. Nice. That's nice. And actually, one of the mission types I was seeing earlier, comparing it to like the Oscar Guzman, because I'm Guzman applies some way again, whatever. It's actually the latest set of missions that came out for career progression. Yeah, No Way Out apparently has like money stuff going on for the plus event in particular. In yes, particular. So 2 times money in RP on No Way Out missions apparently is a thing for plus as well right now. So what, 500-ish k or something turned to like $1 million or something? That's pretty good. My first one was 579,000. It looks like actually. So yeah, around that amount. I wasn't even thinking to check that actually. But again, it might have been inflated. Thinks it'd be my first time. I could be wrong though. And on your first time, you might not be able to do like a higher difficulty if there's a higher difficulty, even for some reason. Oh yeah, it says hard mode, so like, Yeah, you probably get like 500-ish K or so. And I'd be like a million, like 1.1, 1.2 million up to even. That's pretty good. This mission's, I think, only take like an hour or so as well if you do them right as well. I think you only do like once every couple of hours or something. Like at a minimum, maybe you don't even like do it like once a day or something. I'm not even sure. Not even sure, honestly. But it's surely a cooldown on it unless you do like some glitch, if there even is one. And I don't even like advise doing that either, because obviously it's cheating the game then. Cheating the game then. Alright, so gotta check again on things before I go again. Like fervor. Alright, good. Things are working on it, looks like. Looks like. Alright, so there is a couple few more things or something that would be worth doing for the event that would not have been covered before. Obviously, 2 more dealerships to go over, which are Simeons, and then I think even a couple more things or so after that. If I don't get the things that are during the event, it's because I covered them last time, or like a stream issue or something, which is okay again, because I covered them last stream around. Last stream around. So it's like the Karen Woodlander. Okay, I thought it was actually Delusion or something for some reason. For like an Omani Tech SUV, but it's actually an HSW eligible one. Okay. And also the Ubermax Sentinel XS4 that came out in the latest DLC actually. Woodlander came out, yeah, last update Monday runs for sure, right? Yeah, I swear that definitely came out in the Steam update as Tampa GT since something last update for this vehicle here, actually. Thinking more on it, more on it. Yeah, honestly, this SUV doesn't look that crazy impressive, I feel like, when it's not HSW, so like, I don't really see this being a top 10 non-HSW anywhere. I could be wrong though. Could maybe go as a non-HSW as well, but I kinda doubt it, unfortunately though. But if you're on newer platforms, it does actually get an HSW upgrade. Being, I believe, like, the 4th or 5th SUV. I think 4th actually SUV with HSW when it released. 5th would have been like muscle car, I think, because you have 5 muscle car HSW, so yeah, I think it was 4th SUV HSW released in the game. Fortunately, I think it was actually pretty bad on metrics, like, not like top 1, I mean, top 1 for like some HSWs can do, of course. Right, that's what I mean to do, right, here. Yeah, no joke, I think the Cascadator here actually has better lap time than the HSW Karen Woodlander even, so even a non-HSW with the Cascadator even does better lap time than the Woodlander, I'm pretty sure. And it's not even a number 1 top speed or anything, even like the Tampa GT was for muscle car class, even. So even the Tampa GT, as bad as that one was for a lap time, even at like at least number 1 and 1 of the 2 metrics at least. Same one in DLC. So even his HSW is not exactly the most impressive either. So, like, if you only care to get two SUV HSWs, it's definitely not the best one to get. Like, there's only four HSW like SUVs. Like, you can't make like a whole top 10 or anything sale of HSW SUVs, so you might as well get it if you want it as HSW though. As well though. And then newer Maxino XS4s, sedans, right? I think it's sedan class. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. If not, then probably like pay or something. Take a quick peek here. But I think it might be S tier, if not like an A tier or something. Alright, yeah, it is one of those two. I'll say actually it's kind of an A tier. I'm not gonna go over exact performance on it though. I don't think it's on discount. But it's A tier, so it's usable enough actually for sure for sedan. Sedan also has no HSW for its class, so it's actually just as good on all platforms for its class as well. Which you can't really say for a lot of like classes in the game at this point. And last but not least, Simeon's for dealerships. I mean, for last but not least, there's a bit more to go over though. Like, I always a couple more things, like I said, later, but still. But yeah, supposedly there's 7 of 8 vehicles vaulted, but despite that, again, I think there's been mistakes in the last couple of events. There might even be all 8 vehicles vaulted and just one's not, like, explicitly stay on the, like, remove vehicles date spreadsheet for some reason. But yeah, LCC of Varus. Irmak Oracle XS. Bache Rapid GT Classic. Actually, not the worst sports classics, but I think if I remember right, it's actually vaulted for some reason. Rapid Retinue, yeah, the Mark 1 is surely vaulted. Strider's not vaulted? I think it is. Again, it might just be a mistake if like one of the older vehicles, like I've noticed lately with like the new vehicles date spreadsheet. There's been a couple mistakes on it lately for vehicles just not even on it when they should be. So Soto. Same drill as before, I don't know if I'll restate. But yeah. Last like almost 4 years ago, like a couple hundred vehicles, I think at the most at the time were vaulted. Now it's coming down to like 50, 60-ish. Alright, like more so 60-ish apparently. Maybe even 70-ish with the amount of mistakes I'm starting to see on this list or something at this point. Even still. So in the last like almost 4 years, the Varus actually is 10 appearances now. So the latest appearance it has here on this particular dealership dealership appearances, which is actually the least appearance rate of all like 7 to 8 vaulted vehicles, supposedly, barring any mistake on any possible vehicle. That I might just not have like the numbers for. I don't think I saw the Oracle XS on the list if I recall, right? It's probably a mistake, like a bunch of the last couple. I think it's probably meant to be on the list, just not for some reason. Looks like it's a 4-door. Very much, yes. Looks like it's a 4-door. So it's definitely going to be popular as an order vehicle. No day one vehicles and popular as expected with the DLC power creeps and stuff. I want to say the latest like a day one vehicle would have been added would be like after hours DLCs if it's not there like in or in like the earlier sections of this, and it probably is in fact a voted vehicle, just not explicitly on the spreadsheet. Explicitly put on the spreadsheet for whatever reason, aka like a mistake basically. Yeah, I don't see Oracle access on here, so I'm pretty sure it's definitely vaulted despite not explicitly being on the spreadsheet. For whatever reason, I assume it's a mistake though. So yeah, I don't know what the appearance rate is for that reason, but it is in fact a vaulted vehicle. I think it's like coupes or something. But it's like a chopper-based motorcycle, by the way, so I don't really see this one performing well like at all. Oracle XS, if it is a niche class, like coupes actually might have potential to be kind of good, actually. Okay, I actually looked and it's actually not that good actually for the Oracle XS. Actually scratched out. I'm not gonna say the numbers since it's not on discount, but yeah, it's not actually that good for coupes apparently. Wait, Rapid GT Classic actually has 14 appearances apparently, so like the last 2 to like 3-ish years, 2.5 like almost 3 years of the game at this point. So yeah, actually tied with the highest appearance rate alongside the GT500 from the LS Car Meet at 14 appearances with this dealership appearance. This one's actually, if I remember right, not actually that bad for sports classics, at least before Safehouse and Hills. Like, it might actually be a B tier, and maybe now having like a C tier, wouldn't be surprised, but it's actually not as bad as you would think it is being a vaulted vehicle though. Yeah, right number 2 might be in that like B, C tier range or something for sports classics as well. So the basic retinue would basically be worse for sports classics, and I'm pretty sure it's in that class for sure. Yes, it is. That one has 12 appearances apparently on the dealership, just like 3 out of the LS Car Meet. You know, that's like almost 3 years. Almost 3 years. See, the retinue is definitely not gonna perform good since it has a Mark II like vehicle, literally same vehicle name but with a 2 at the end, so it's basically an improved version altogether. Oh, I was going to say the DLC thing, so I was about to say, like, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but yeah. This, by the way, came out in Bikers Update, like, fall 2016, before I forget. Say anything like that. Oracle XS is a day one vehicle. 82K, actually, wait. Is that why some of them are excluded? Since they're actually, like, it will be stolen on the street. Maybe that's why some of those actually aren't on the, like, spreadsheet. Yeah, maybe that's why the work access and other ones actually haven't been on the spreadsheet, maybe because they're able to be stolen on the street at any point, maybe. Yes, fuck. This one's Biker's, like, late 2016 vehicle on exclusive, on exclusive. Day one vehicle can test out store mode. Rapid GT Classic, I think might have been like Smuggler's Run or something like 2017 or something like that. Could be wrong though. I think the Mark 1, the regular retinue, I think is for sure Smuggler's Run though, on that one 100%. That's on exclusive, and the Street or Starter is like late 2017 Doomsday Heist. So every single one's on exclusive sides for the Oracle access over here, and like Cliv, like that was car meet. That's what the only two would test and Storm would be able to do, basically. And yes, by the way. Street or Starter is technically a sports car, I believe, even though it looks like an SUV. I believe it's in a sports class. I think this is like a year before they did like sporty SUVs actually in the SUVs class. So I think they didn't want to put in there at the time for that reason, because it would have been power creeped as hell back then. Back then. Yes, fuck. Yeah, Street or Starter, yes, no. I think back then it would have had like hella power creep in the SUVs class, and I guess they weren't entirely comfortable with doing sporty SUVs at the time. And then like a year later, if I did like things like the Tauros and like the Astron and stuff, and even like a couple years later, of course, in the case of the Astron. So it's this SUV in sports class, and that basically doesn't perform like good at all. Basically, by the way, it's basically in the wrong class. Basically, so it definitely doesn't perform well. And yeah, so if I didn't say the retinue is like 12 appearances like Riata, I think I did on that one though. But the Street or Starter has 11 appearances for its appearance rate. Only one of that appearance rate of the current event at least. But I might finally understand why some have actually not been on the like list for like the vault list. You know, they appear. It might be because they're 5-digit values. That might be why. I don't know if it was always like on this spreadsheet, but now it might very much be for all I know. For all I know. Yeah, the one with the best performance, like potential, if it was for sure the Rapid GT Classic, could be wrong though, over that, where those like Oracle access being a niche class of coupes, basically. So as a reminder, weekly bonuses and discounts. There is the 500,000 bonus for selling the $500,000 of special cargo. Oh, okay, so you have to sell 500k of special cargo. Okay. So you can't just do one cargo sale, but 500k is not that much if you have at least a little bit of your time, like an hour or two or something, maybe. Maybe. I don't know if I 100% understood at the time. So yeah, don't just do one cargo sale. I mean, you might be able to do like small sales like that. It's not to accumulate eventually to 500k. I'd probably just sell 500k at a time, or like a little more than that, just to be sure though. So yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to mislead earlier, but I guess that's not the case then. But you can't just be lazy to do a smaller sale, perhaps. Perhaps. And then he gets 4 times money RP on the treasure chest, like I said earlier, and then you get a hidden catches for the title, of course, and then 2 times on the adversary mood. Really, those are the only like money things going on. It's only there's like 4 things, so it's actually pretty light on the money stuff, basically. So you have like a bunch of free mode collectible kind of things. Apparently they're both Caprico ones, I heard as well. Like during like a scope out of Caprico, not even the Lunali. Adversary mode or like the special cargo thing, it's actually very weak and lackluster, I would say, just something for money making. Especially when the special cargo itself isn't even on like a 2 times or anything. Just a little like weekly challenge thing. The main thing is like the missions still for 4 times if it was the last week. Kind of expected, I guess they want people to put his missions on their consoles at least. Or newer platforms as a whole, not just newer consoles. It was, of course, for a while, but yeah. Yes. And then, yeah, there was still logging of the Last of Los Santos soccer jersey, as I mentioned earlier. So I usually mention money stuff around here, so I mention money stuff. To reiterate the scans and gun ban, I might require myself to get further in the stream before I do that, though. I probably won't spend much time on those since I covered those the last time, basically. Basically, yes, fuck. Yeah, one money thing I couldn't cover actually last event was actually the FIB party file, since it changes each week. So it's the black box file this time apparently. Yes, fuck though. If you only play the party files, if FPS, you only play the party files for some reason and not like regular files, and it's not that good of one to have it on, unfortunately, no. But if you're on regular files as well, then you at least can alternate back and forth from the 2 best ones of Fine Art and Project Breakaway. You can always alternate those 2, since none of us 2 are on the party this week. If say it's like one of your main grinds to do for the game or something. Yeah, black box is 2 times, instead of being like 155, it's 310, but you can only do it 1 time for the whole event week. So that's the catch. If it's party, you can only do it 1 time for the week, unfortunately, no. So if it's on a good one, it's kind of bad if you grind them consistent, like I was saying earlier. But Black Box is kind of not one of the better ones, so in that sense, it's actually maybe one of the better ones to have party for. Not even gonna lie. But I mean, it's like a mechanic that changes each week. They don't really go out the way to mention those on these wires, so that's something I'll always change each week, basically, even if it's stated those. And then Salvage Yard will be up next. I think after Salvage Yard 11, it might pretty much just be the Asia Study Time Trial that I absolutely have to cover or want to cover, basically. Like a run of it, basically. Just for fun of it, basically. Basically. Everything else is basically been covered after the salvage yard, though, I think. Whether it be last stream or this stream. But since after standards mercenaries were struggling to do some registering and see it and stuff for the computer, and ironically doesn't let you do that on that one. Weird. Weird, no. Alright, play this Karate Tourism Classic, Benefactor Schlagen GT, and the Vapid LE in reverse order. Sometimes the reverse order between like cheapest to highest to highest to cheapest for some weird reason. some weird reason. We're good, streaming environment still seems to be working. Awesome. Awesome. So back over GT series videos being posed. Will be worth kinda noting. I don't know what the vanity plates are, but it doesn't really matter anyways since they're not claimable whatsoever. Let's say you want like a collection here for some reason of like one vanity plate. I don't know what it would be, by the way, But I don't know. I'm gonna go in reverse order here, and sometimes I just go highest to lowest, sometimes I load highest from like left to right for whatever reason. He changed sometimes. So for the standard range target, the Vapid LE from 7 standard super autos, like whatever, like spring 2018 on DLC name DLC here. Vapid LE is part of the Tony robbery. Having a max sell value turned $68,000, it looks like there. Yes. And solid value turned $14,400. Okay. Import export, I think they call the middle ones mid-range, so call Benefactor Schlagen GT from the Arena Wars DLC, a mid-range vehicle here for the event. This one, by the way, is a muscle car. This one's a sports car, by the way. We have Benefactor Schlagen GT mid-range vehicle, sports car, Arena War DLC. That one is part of the podium robbery, the casino one, aka. It has max sell value for $5,000 and then the salvage value turns 64, or no, that's 284,800. It looks like. Yes. Or if I said 284,800, it looks like it's just 284,000 exactly, actually. Interesting for an exact salvage value. That doesn't happen often, per se. Create like a random kind of number randomly, that's not like a 0. And then finally, for the top range vehicle, which is apparently the Karate Turismo Classic. From, what was it, special, like, done special vehicle circuit, or like, one of the, like, early, like, mid, like, 2017 DLCs, I think. I think it's based on Turismo, yes, I think it's based on Turismo from GTA San Andreas, I want to say, if not, like, Vice City or something, if it was in that game. I'm pretty sure it might have been. I think it's the San Andreas Turismo, I think. Very cool, retro, nostalgic looking Turismo there. Sure. It's sports classics, newer platforms. It's also an HSW eligible vehicle, of course. From the back, that. As I had to kind of go over because of the plus subscription. Word a month. Or for a month. But yeah. With all that said, it's a top range vehicle. And it's for the gangbang robbery. The one at the Mission Road Police Station. And it has a max sale value of $404,000. And its salvage value of $323,200. Yes, salvage value. Yes, of $324,200. So cool. Cool. Alright. Money trees, kind of for cash. Yes, whatever though. So I think that's pretty much it, honestly, for stuff to cover that I haven't covered last week for this event. If I find time, maybe after the HSW time trial, I might be going over the rest of that stuff. I kind of just want to make sure I get the HSW time trial covered like I forgot about for EVX, just in case, though. Especially because the shortcut can be kind of difficult to pull off at the beginning, basically. I'm very much 100% since, yeah, I'm making my way to the salvage yard. I usually have to talk about discounts at that point, like possibly gun ban, or like after discounts and HSW town trial and the gun ban, in like a worst case scenario, Naruto. So I'm 100%, like, speaking of the gun ban, I actually ironically found the gun ban. Maybe I should show those contents, but I already pretty much spoke about those in the last week, so I'll probably just maybe quickly go over the I'm not overly huge fan of covering the gun ban per se in particular. Maybe some of my least favorite stuff to cover for whatever reason, for yes, whatever reason though. But yeah, all the stuff was already covered before on like my last stream, last event. But precision rifle
is a precision.
Honestly, not that good. So if you don't care to collect all the weapons, it's not the biggest deal to get. But you can also say put in your gun locker if it has like the max ammo, like keep it in there permanently. And I think all your other like weapons of the same type of like ammo get full like max ammo each time. So like ammo trick you can do with that. I only vouch for that since there's glitches that can remove your ammo in the game. Like glitches in the game that you can't like control when they happen when you do like say certain content in the game with the spaghetti code that's like 13 years old in the game. Like sometimes the ammo can just glitch off your character. I mean, like
doing a bit of long range work,
content. So when you do stuff like that, like, yeah, you can pretty much avoid that for a lot of your stuff, which can save you lots of money over time. For sure. So a precision rifle can be good for something like that, even if it's like not per se a good weapon. have it like in reserve in the gun locker. That's what I do personally. Kind of was a combination of the Mark II, like
Now that
Mark II
is a
rifle with the
precision
holographic
instrument.
sight, and also like the regular sniper rifle, but since it has like no attachments, it's kind of like mid with no attachments personally. Your service carbine. You can build this weapon actually for free, so you can actually get it for free, but it's actually really
Trust
good.
me.
This is
You
definitely
can
a good one
trust that
to get if you're
rifle.
on legacy platforms, 100%. But if you're on newer platforms, the Striker might just be better, but you have to make sure that one's at the gun van, and it's not this week for sure. Because yeah, Striker's the gun van exclusive. Pretty sure even if the Mansion Agency is still gun van exclusive. Military rifle. Oh, Striker is basically just the upgraded version of military
kind of
rifle. If you're on a
rifle
legacy
speaks for
platforms,
itself.
military rifle is actually the only version of that gun. It's also doing a version of the gun with the suppressor, but it doesn't have like the fancy stuff like the blue tracer rounds, and the extra like 5-10 meter lock on range. I believe the Striker has over I think every other assault rifle in the game. By the way.
Yeah, now that rifle's a modern classic.
Musket can actually shoot at really far ranges. It actually can be pretty good for shooting people off of Mark II oppressors, which you might actually struggle against otherwise, actually, ironically. So this one actually can have a pretty interesting and also good use at the same time. Even if it is otherwise pretty niche, and just fits the holiday theme of Independence Day.
Hell of a price, huh?
Won't be here forever.
Assault rifles are Mark II weapons, so you cannot get Mark II weapons directly at the gun van. You have to upgrade them, of course, at the like weapon workshops. But because there's all the different builds you can do for it, for sure, definitely 100% worth it. And then pull Q's a melee weapon. That's pretty much the least worthwhile thing here. You can biker melee with it, but not really anything else really all that unique. There's no pull
Trust me,
billiards in the
that's
game where you can actually like,
messy.
use it for anything
In
kind
a
of
good
unique,
way.
basically, unfortunately. Yeah, the Molotovs, there's actually good
I'll
shot
keep
on
these in
characters.
stock for you.
A lot of those, then, since you
Guaranteed
can't get them
effective.
ammunition from
Yeah,
the other
that'll
retailers.
hurt.
I think there might be the, like, not Blood Money, that's Red Dead. Money Fronts, might be that Money Fronts DLC mission, if I recall, where you can get those easily. But I shouldn't have to do that just because the Molotovs randomly glitched out my character. Yeah, unfortunately, things like this, there's no other
Primus
sure
included.
ammo types. You have to just buy them outright if the ammo glitches like on a Molotov cocktail. Unfortunately, no. Yeah, Gunman exclusive rollable ears, so very good. You cannot buy these ammunition or the armories for the agency or the mansion. Yeah, basic explosive rollable.
Goes off guaranteed
Like,
every time.
just alright, like decent at best. But not anything spectacular, of course. And Pop Bomb's actually really good for draw by rollables, since if Sticky Bomb gets shot out of your hand by AI, it will actually blow up your vehicle and like say like a contact machine or something with like heavy AI presence, pretty much. So in those cases, you're actually better off using
You
like,
want to
a
make a
pipe
bang?
bomb.
That'll do it.
And then obviously you have body armor from there. The discounts, by the way, are the 30% off for all players. Just Service Carbon's 30% off. So on all platforms, Service Carbon will be 30% off. But again, you can quite literally just build the weapon if you do like the crime scenes 5 times, by the way, I believe.
Trust me. You can trust
So if you
that
find
rifle.
like 5 crime scene random events, I think you can just get to build the weapon for free, if I recall. Though I think you still have to like buy attachments. I could be wrong, but it could maybe quite literally make the whole weapon for you if you make like the 5 crime. If you say do the 5 crime scenes, I mean, like some dot like free mode like random events. I understand those can be kind of annoying to go for, so
That kind of rifle speaks for itself.
yeah, you might as well buy on some kind of discount. But it's not gunman exclusive or anything. You can at least buy it like ammunition as well if you don't want to say like build it for like the crime scenes at least. So it's just This actually came out the update before the gunman came out, so it is ammunition of fact.
Yeah, now that rifle's a modern classic.
And yeah, 40% off for Plus members, by the way, for the military rifle. Ironic, you need the newer version. It's like literally outshined by the old stricter sites for having a suppressor on it, which is pretty funny. Choice for discount for newer platforms, only for the subscription. Honestly, military rifle would maybe be the one I'd actually put in the gun lock with for the assault rifle class, especially if you're on newer platforms for having access to the striker, by the way. If I didn't mention that, that'd be kind of worth it for that. But I might went over those much quicker than I usually do, but yeah, again, I covered more details I think in the last stream for those that might want more details in the other stream. Said no. Part-time 2 minutes 53 seconds, so at least to provide up a AVX anyways. In Class B vehicle, I believe it might be the same for any other Class B vehicle though. I could be wrong. Could be wrong though. Yes, so at least for provide up a EVX is 2 minute 53 second part-time. So again, the real one, like true shortcut is going to be just like pure straight, basically. Oh, that went well on the first try, actually. It doesn't usually, maybe goes like electric acceleration heavy. For all I know, so I might just have a much easier time doing something like that, so that's nice. That or actually spend my time and then just like full, like throttle it or something. Or almost full throttle it at least. So... some of these vehicles in a way just be slowing it down, unfortunately though. Unfortunately though. That kinda sucks, that very much kinda sucks. So again, this left turn, like on the right side. Should have maybe said that, I might have been more clear actually on what I actually did end up saying, but like, I don't know, it might have sounded a bit weird too. All of the ways the thought of saying it sounded kind of weird to me, but it could be wrong. Could be wrong though. I'm gonna try it since it's so much a key acceleration heavy, so it gets top speeds pretty decent. Set top speeds like lesser than other like HSW vehicles, of course. Oh my goodness, bro. This may be electric heating the slightest, but maybe not the craziest accelerating electric vehicle out there. Come on, man. Come on, man. All I know, very much all I know, though. I feel this very much could have went a lot smoother, for sure, if it weren't for so much traffic in some parts. Like traffic just being in the way in like some parts. Yeah, it shouldn't have been in the red at all. Things went smoother, but first try at least. I'll take happily. Happily. Yeah, 252,000 for that got me to 9,214,533 See. About to be at 10 million for the next DLC at least. At least I should probably add a lot more. But if they only release as many vehicles as the current update, then like, do I even need like another mansion even beforehand? I don't even know, honestly. Like, even if I don't necessarily have to get like all the vehicles for the update. I didn't really get money from this DLC vehicle when they didn't provide like a thing for that update. Wow, was that like the one time I had it's actually break on this vehicle? Interesting. Interesting. It's been actually hard to do on this vehicle, actually though. So I should probably reiterate what some of the like discounts are for vehicles at this point. Again, if you want more details on those or for the last streams, and technically Rockstar went over those in the previous event, even though they were for the next event, basically, as I explained this time and last time, basically. So reiterating stuff from the last event, and have this stream's probably only been like 2-3 hours maybe, hopefully, if I got spotty for some kind and fucking things up for me too much, of course, hopefully I don't think it's done that too much yet. It might be around my other shorter stream, like a couple weeks back or something, where I had a much smoother stream, even with Takuma Plus here, maybe even two, maybe even very much two though. But yeah, something plus stuff kind of added some stuff to talk about at least though, at least though. I think it should be no longer than 4 hours, I think, at this point, right? I think so. But it reiterates 40% off the offices and the office upgrades. Oh yeah, those are agencies, my bad. It's more traditional looking icons. So like, it would still be over 2 million for like me paying 70-40%, not like 50%, where it would be exactly like 2 million, for example. I think 1 million was the most expensive one here, I'm pretty sure. So it's like 600k for that cosmetic, but it's just cosmetic, doesn't really matter. Personnel doesn't really matter, it's personal preference, cosmetic-y stuff. This was the very original gun locker of the game, pretty much. It's alright. Especially if it's your first gun locker, it will definitely possibly serve some use. But there is more complimentary ones that came out later on. Like the nightclub, I think, is a gun locker just for the purchase of the property without going out the way to actually buy a gun locker, like outright, for example. Safe Cosmetics, pretty cool, but technically, again, it's just cosmetics. You can very much go without it, but it's kind of unique. One thing for sure here to get for renovation stuff is for sure the accommodation lets you spawn here. Office and like newer things like the agency and like mansions for more luxury kind of spawns actually lets you spawn and select attack helicopters, which you can't really do at the agency or the mansion. Like for example, so I would definitely say this one's up here for top like 3 or 5 spawn locations, just like the hangar, probably a little worse than hangar, or even a good bit, possibly even 2. For all I know, but yeah. Yes, so I would say it's for sure like top 3, top 5, like top 10 spawn location as well, just like I was saying for the hangar. Again, I think the hangar definitely edges it out for sure, but yeah. With a huge variety of like amazing point A, point B, like aircraft spawns you get access to at the hangar. Obviously, the office just simply cannot beat that, really. But it's definitely very much up there alongside hangars, some of the best spawn locations, I think, for sure. For sure. Almost a couple $100,000 off, like almost 300K exactly off, actually. Actually, it is actually over 300K off, looks like, my bad. So looking a little wrong there. Doesn't seem to include the office stuff, like the garage stuff, I mean. Didn't sound like it last time. Yeah, no, it doesn't. But obviously getting the office and the renovations is your kind of, like, gateway into actually being able to get the 60 car garage stuff if you don't have that stuff yet, basically. Stepping legendaries versus discounts. Over these quick, kind of because, again, technically covered these the last 7 since they're getting like a week heads up on the discounts. Once again, like they've been doing kind of lately. And Furnace Classic. Your single vehicle discount, but always 30% off. Yeah, the property ones were 40, the vehicles are 30. This one's a sports classics. Furnace Classics actually kinda not as good as a bunch of the other classic old school supercars though. No. Yes, fun. This actually might be one of the worst, if not the worst, like old school supercar kind of sport classic vehicle. It's actually a C tier, apparently, with a 16 points left on 20 points top speed, going from 142's vehicle, especially racing YouTube, but you don't on. Above average for the class for both metrics, but it's also like, no matter what, it's not top 10, even without HSW into account. It's only 3 of those, even for the class. So you just have better options for sports classics. You can even get the cheated classic on, like, prize ride, even for simple top 1, no days in a row, even to it. So you might as well just do that then, even. Or of course just straw is like the premium test ride, even if you're on newer platforms in particular. Beaster. Sports car, 4-door sports car, even. F tier sports car, apparently 58th place lap time, 28th place top speed. 28th place might actually seem kind of bad for top speed, but I think actually for 4 doors, it actually might be the best 4-door for a top speed, or one of the best ones at least. Yeah, game line sport cars are mostly 2 doors. They're very rarely 4 doors. Dr. Dread, Dr. Retard, Dr. Fuck ass Retard, no. But nah, I'm kidding, no. I like Dr. Dre music, I don't hate his music at all. At all. I just be fucking with his character and shit. Yes, that's fun. Dr. Dre's music's actually real cool, though. Not gonna lie. I just meme his name, it's like retard at the end. Though. The Electro... One of only 2 Curse Boost motorcycles, kind of unique, alongside the Vindicator. Vindicator is actually in store mode as well, just without the Curse Boost feature, since there's a special ability meter, just can do it in single player. Alright, this will actually go to 5 o'clock, but whatever. But it's extra classes motorcycles, so we'll have a letter tier to it, apparently, but yeah. It is 24th place lap time and 35th place top speed. It's only one HSW motorcycle and it gets like 23rd at best and first lap time. Top speed is actually below average for the class, so... But lap time, yeah, while above average for the class, not really too great. The only real crazy thing for is the curse boost. Here, I think it's just one vehicle, if I remember right. Get a weaponized dinghy. Yes, it's fine, weaponized dinghy. It's a weaponized vehicle, I'll talk more capabilities, I suppose, and performance. I won't even mention performance for this one, I think. It's an aquatic vehicle that requires 2 people to maximize, like, the vehicle. Maximize use of the vehicle, you need at least 2 people to do that. Literally, the Stromberg is the plus vehicle right now. You can literally use that, and it's a lot more capable since you can actually use that one solo, and even has better weaponry than like a basic like machine gun on it. And I was like, keep in mind, there's like not much aquatic content in this game even as well, so it's not really that good. It's more for the vehicle collection than anything. I will say it's at least Pegasus, so you don't have a vehicle storage element to worry about. So if you have a like fuck ton of money, you might as well just get it, I suppose. Maybe you don't yet have it for some reason. The vehicle's not good. For the most part, Could have mounted front, like mounted machine guns, and it would have been like so much better solo, or at least solo usable at all, at least. Yeah, no joke, there's 4 boat scams for the event right now. For the event right now. Yeah, luckily the longfin approach is the definitive approach to do for like pretty much any Caprico heist run. So easy trade price to acquire for this one. This one. Again, like the other both in this and all the other ones, Pegasus vehicles, again, no storage element, you might as well get them all if you have the money, like fuck ton of money to spend. And still will be fine for like, the next update, pretty much. Boats also count as extra classes, so no letter tier for Zero, by the way. But yeah, the Longfin is #1 optim and top speed for boats, so this is pretty much the definitive boat for racing. Speeder's a pretty good boat as well for racing, actually. Might have been like the best before a Longfin, even. Yeah, that one's second place top 10, but like 6th place top speed, apparently. That one's actually a lot more balanced by comparison, not just dominating the whole class, even. The Marquis, on the other hand, that's the one boat that's like really terrible performance. Of like the 5 boat discounts Sturgeon is basically. Well, 14, 15 place top speed of like all the 19 boats in the game. That's obviously not good. Very cheap too, so pretty much just about anybody who's even remotely interested should just buy it anyways. Since there's no storage element. Same with the speeder, by the way. And the Jetmax. They're all only in like the 200Ks anyways, so they're not even that much. Jetmax actually apparently right below the speeder too. Yeah, it's the 3rd place top time and also 5th place top speed. It's pretty comparable to the speeder. But the Longfin just dominate. The Longfin just dominate. Just for yes, fuck. Yeah, speeder and Jetmax are also quick boats. The Longfin just dominates boat races since it came out of Capricorn Ice Steel, let's see, like 6 years ago almost. Almost so. But I mean, also it's terrible handling, I guess, for turns corners, so it kind of balances out, I guess. But sheer speed, I think, is it like #1 lap time, I think though. Regardless though. But Diner ESP, let's actually mention this one actually with the GT, the Diner GT or GTT, whatever. So actually, yeah, isn't the GT actually one from like a different update now that I think of it? It might have not been a tuner subclass section, a GT. Again, I might have been thinking of the other one, the GTT. Like either way, Downer GT wasn't that crazy of a vehicle, I think, anyways, of those supposed vehicles, anyways. So, like, whatever, though. Whatever, though. Yeah, I kind of not even going to mention trade prices, honestly, since I'm kind of trying to get rid of these quicker. I gotta cut, like, corners somewhere. Somewhere. But, yeah. So. Just before newer tuners came out with, like, later updates after tuners. And after, actually, the Crown Enterprise DLC, like, kind of talking to more recent tuners, like the Wad Body and the Hardy Way. At least until some those couple came out, I think it was actually very average for, like, kind of in the middle of the class for lap time, at least. Like, for tuner subclass, I mean. But yeah, sport tuners just dominate as a whole, anyways, for, like, Street Pursuit races. You probably shouldn't be using it there, anyways. Pretty fine, solid option for robbery contracts if you don't have, like, just RR, like the regular just RR, though. If yes, you don't have regular. Yes, fuck. If you do not have the regular chest RR, it is actually a pretty solid option though for the robbery contracts with the rear louvers on the back you can buy. So you don't get shot in the back window though. So it is very good for robbery contracts. I think it's also S tier still, or like A tier if not, for muscle car class still even into big 2026. Okay, so it's actually at the top of A tier. Okay, it's actually just barely missed out of the S tier nowadays. 7th place lap time and 22nd place top speed apparently. Even goes as high as 4th place, probably just W actually for lap time even. It's not quite top 3 potential, but can actually get top 5 without HSW. Lap time even. No turbo. Sports classics. Sports classics. It's probably in the K tier for sports classics. A 39th place lap time as well as a 38th place top speed. It's actually below average for the class as a whole, it seems, even, which is just not good. Yeah, so it's just not a good performing vehicle. It's kind of like a meme vehicle, if anything. Or like one just for the like customization, first preference kind of reasons or something. Yes, fuck, no. Yeah, customization, first preference reasons for sure on that one. That one. Yes. Again, it's like 39, 38 for 38, 39 for customization, first preference reasons for that one. Yes. And I'll have to bring it phone discount. Yes, pretty sure it's just free discounts we're starting. Yes, it's fun. The off-road class, it's a G tier off-road. 20 place off time, 40 place top speed. Just really not good no matter how you slice, even if you put like the non-raceables in. A lot of the non-raceables are actually kind of slow. So not really the greatest off-road vehicle. Well, not quite 2 hour stream like the last shorter one. To be fair, there's plus stuff to go through, so 3 hour stream is fine, I would say. Fine, I would say. I'm definitely pretty fond of 3 hour streams. Have plus stuff to go through anyways. Yeah, it's probably gonna be it for a stream. Next stream will be another GTA event. When it'll be a longer one to cover, since it'll be like all kinds of news, like there'll be all kinds of different stuff to cover. I mean, that will not have like a week like notice to go through. And yeah, Similarly Chronicles Definitive Edition and Switch 2 Edition is pretty tight about a win. Something from Nintendo Direct I was kind of talking about like last week, I think. Gone day one since I was hyped as fuck about when they announced it. Like $12 on eShop or something. Costco gift cards or something. Yes, Costco Nintendo eShop gift cards. I had like a bunch of those. I had like $12 left from discount card things, basically, and like hundreds and stuff. To get that cheaper Switch 2. Cheaper Switch 2 for sure. Yes. That's fun. You want to be it for a stream. Hope you enjoyed. I guess. Ram in there, but sure. Why not?